The Make Do Review Halloween Spooktacular. Hello everyone and welcome to the Make Do Review. My name is Jack.
My name is Emily.
And today on the Make Do Review podcast, it's Halloween! Well, not exactly, but it's getting close. Mm-hmm. It's October.
The countdown is on.
The countdown is on. It is the October season. I'm so excited! I can't contain myself. But currently, you're listening to pre-recorded voices. I am sitting on a beach in Spain, enjoying my life.
We're having a good cocktail.
Anyway, today's episode is mine. My episode. I call the shots. It's Jack's Top 5, baby! Boo!
How are you today, Jack?
Do you know what? I'm pretty mellow. Yeah, today is my top 5 Halloween spooky horror thriller themed movies. I'm very excited. When I was younger, I hated horror movies. Hated them. And it's probably why my top 5 has none of them.
Yeah. We're not really big into watching the horrors, are we?
No. I'm trying really hard to get into them now because I feel like I will enjoy them. But before we get into my number 5, I do have some honourable mentions, Emily. I made a separate list. And there's quite a few here, because there was quite a few that I kept thinking of, but I didn't want to put on the list. Actually, there might be a couple that I wanted to put on the list. So, my honourable mentions. Nightmare Before Christmas. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to put it on here, but I watch it more at Christmas time, even though I believe it's for both seasons. But I do watch it more at Christmas time. The remake from 2017. Part 1. Oh yeah, Part 1. Loved that film. It's really funny, but not on the list. Paranormal Activity. The reason it gets a mention is because I have so many memories of that film scaring the bejeebus out of me. It was a phenomenon. It was. Do you remember the trailer for it? The trailer was literally the audience's reaction to the film. It was genius.
Oh,
yeah.
You've mentioned it. I might.
Yeah, it was so clever. It got everyone hyped. I remember watching it. I hated it because it was scary. I don't like jump scares.
Scary. They are
it's a jump scared film, and when you go back to watch it again, it's actually not that great. But I do love it. I have to give it a mention. Alien, the first one, not Aliens. I prefer the first one. Tell
us why.
The suspense, the fact that it's just set in the ship. There's one alien.
Singular.
It's just a great film. I absolutely love that film. But not on the list. The Shining. I watched it last year for the first time. Not on the list.
Oh, gosh.
I do love that film. I see why it's considered to be one of the greats. But not on the list. Child's Play. I really thought I was going to put it on the list because I always think of this film when I think of Halloween. The original Child's Play, not the remake, which came out this year, I think. This year. Anyway, love that film, love the concept. I love the series because it's just ridiculous.
I don't think I've seen them.
You haven't?
No.
Do you know what it is? It's Chucky.
Oh, I know Chucky.
Yeah, you know Chucky. But the first film was called Child's Play. Anyway, not on the list. And then my last honorable mention is Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, yeah. You showed me that one.
Yeah, I was really close to putting it on. Decided not to. I love the film though. It's really clever. The first time I watched it, it's the one film where for some reason every video I watched of it on YouTube, most people were like, I'm not going to spoil the ending. You have to see this film. For some reason, there was a community for this film not to spoil the twist.
And it was clever. It was really clever because I only watched it for the first time the other.
Yeah, and
month.
you enjoyed it. Great film. Moving on, top 5, baby.
Tell me.
Number 5. Right, and I have a notebook. I bought it the other day. But I've made a shambles of my notes because the order changed multiple times.
You did not make full use of your notebook.
No. So at number 5, it's a little film.
Mm-hmm.
It had a budget of $28 million.
Oh, so only small then.
It came out in 1993
Oh.
and grossed over $39.5 million. It's a Disney film. And it's called Hocus Pocus, baby.
Hey.
Hocus Pocus, baby. Yeah, I grew up watching this film. It's the first film I think of when it comes to Halloween. It's dumb. It's not that great. But I love it. It's so funny. The whole plot is based on a boy being a virgin and getting made fun of. That's pretty much it. The plot is like a virgin boy moves to a new town. He gets made fun of for being a virgin, and then awakens 3 witches.
As you do when you are a virgin.
It's ridiculous. It was directed by Kenny Ortega. I was actually surprised at the money it made and how big the budget was as well for this film. Because I thought it was like a Disney movie, like straight to DVD, but I think it was. I don't know if it was in theaters. But yeah, it stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, I think, and Ormy Katz with a Z and a K. Katz, Katz. What a cool name.
He's a cool cat.
That's Max. But yeah, it's got a talking cat, it's got a zombie, it's got 3 witches, and a virgin.
What more do you want at Halloween as a kid?
I would not be surprised if that's the tagline.
What, for the episode?
What?
For the episode.
No, you know how like movies have like taglines on the poster?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what the tagline is? I actually didn't know it.
What?
It's all a bunch of hocus pocus. Anyway, yeah, it's a classic. For some reason, I watch it every year. It's dumb, it's stupid, but I love it. I love me a bit of Hocus Pocus.
What is your number 4?
Oh, God. You hear that? It's my notebook.
Professional.
My number 4 is a fairly recent film. Came out in 2017. It won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. It had a budget of $4.5 million and grossed $176 million.
Ooh.
That film was Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched this film last year. Once again, I was late. Actually, I watched it this year. Yeah, I think I watched it this year. Yeah, I watched it this year. That's terrible. I watched it, yeah. The reason why is because I wanted to see Us. It was just before Us came out. The trailer was out, and I wanted to watch the first film that Jordan Peele made.
Yeah.
Directed and written by Jordan Peele. Absolute amazing first film. I think that's the best thing about it. An amazing cast. I love this film. It had me on the edge of my bed when I watched it. I remember actually sitting up and cheering them on at the ending. It's just a great concept. And it's very it's that kind of ooh, this actually is kind of what today is like. Obviously the whole the main plot is it's once again it's out of the ordinary. It's a different reality, but the underlying themes, that's all real. That's that hits hard. But yeah, absolute stellar cast. I've only watched. I think I've only watched it once, and it's literally. I love the film. I was obsessed with it for a while.
Because his films are clever, I think they make you want to rewatch them and notice stuff that you
Yeah,
hadn't the first time.
a video I'd recommend is Jordan Peele actually talking about fan theories. I think Variety did it on YouTube. That's a great video to watch if you've seen the film.
Mm.
But yeah, it's what more can I say? It's absolutely fantastic. It did amazing. It was great for the black community and black actors as well. Absolutely, it's just fantastic. And it's creepy. it's,
Oh.
it's creepy. It's uncomfortable, and that's good. Like horror is suspense and making me feel uncomfortable and wanting me to get out my seat and stop watching because I'm like cringing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what more can I say?
What is your next film?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is a film
Yes.
that came out in 1987.
Oh.
It's a sequel.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Which is better than the first.
Do tell.
It's directed and written by Sam Raimi, who you may know from the Spider-Man films, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh, damn.
It had a budget of 3.6 million
Just.
and grossed over 5 million.
Oh, just a little bit then.
Just a little bit. Made a profit. Did you know what the first film's budget was?
No.
350,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This time they got the big bucks.
They got big bucks. That film is Evil Dead 2. Now, I have fond memories of this film because
This horror film.
yeah. My friend from back home from Scotland, he used to try and make me watch horror films, and I didn't want to because I was a little bitch. I hate. Yeah, I'll admit it today. I don't mind horror films today. I actually enjoy them when they're done right. But I didn't like scary films. I didn't like being scared, and it freaked me out. I hated it. So he tried very hard to get me to watch Evil Dead 2, which I think at the time he was like, "Oh, I've got this movie. Let's watch it." And then I was like, "No, I don't want to watch it. It'll be scary." Like, cause like the box art was like it's just a skull, and it's like staring at you. And I was like, "No, I can't watch this."
That is classic.
Yeah.
Do not watch. Creepy
And I
skull.
was like, I really don't want to watch this. And then we watched it, and it is hilarious. It's one of the funniest films. It's just full on slapstick. It's amazing. Starring the amazing Bruce Campbell. I showed you this film last year as well.
Don't remember.
We watched it on Halloween. Like, on Halloween. We watched Evil Dead 2. It's the one where he gets a chainsaw hand. You don't remember?
Where he's in this room. They're in
Is
a
it-
room and
is-
they're like trapped and they're trying to.
He's in a cabin.
Oh, okay, yeah, that.
Yeah,
I
you
kind of
remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Ever since then, it's just been a classic in my brain.
In your skull.
In my skull. Yeah, it's great. It's just, I love the story behind the films, like how they made the films. Like they were on such a low budget. The way they got shots, like some of the shots of like, the cameras like zooming through the woods. That's literally Sam Raimi on a bike, just pedaling through the woods.
I really was hoping you were going to say just running. Just like with a camera, like.
Well, yeah, most people do that, but yeah, he's on a bike, and it's amazing. It's like it's like guerrilla filmmaking. It's so like and I love it. It's like full of slapstick. Bruce Campbell is fantastic in it. A little fact, they tried this film is considered a remake, but it's not. It's a sequel because it's called Evil Dead 2, right?
Yeah.
The issue was the Sam Raimi wanted to do like a recap at the beginning of the film, but he couldn't get the rights to his own film to show like old clips from the first film, so they had to remake it. So they remade like the first film and then just remade. They just changed up how he ended up in the cabin. So that people are like, it's a remake, but it's not. It's just they just ended up remaking.
How can you not get the rights to your own film?
That's just companies, man. They own the film.
That's
Directors don't own the film, you know.
really sad.
I know, how bad is that?
Justice. For
I know.
directors.
So yeah, it's funny, and it's like little things like that. Like there's so many different things. The imagery in these films are like amazing. There's like stop motion and all that. It's so like dated, and it's the gore as well. It's like practical effects. It's all like mushy
That's
and
the thing.
disgusting.
I don't really like gore.
Yeah.
Because a lot of nowadays, like the gore's done really well.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's stuff like that, like you can kind
Practical.
of tell it's not real. It's kind of like, oh, I can see like what they're doing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love this film. It's just wacky and goofy with like that horror theme. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Tell me more.
Number 2.
You can't see it, but he just licked his fingers on the page in his notebook.
Okay, I changed this.
Oh.
I changed my list.
Now?
No, I changed it before we started.
Oh my god.
So I added a film because it popped. I couldn't believe I forgot about this film, and it's definitely on my list, but it's not number 1. I thought it would be number 1, but I've decided on my number 1. Number 2 came out in 1984. Directed by Ivan Reitman. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Yeah! There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Anyway, yeah, Ghostbusters. I mean,
Actually, yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that.
yeah,
film.
I mean, there's so much I can say about this film. It's just,
Oh, we should come back with another podcast with the Ghostbuster films, like all of them, including the new one.
should we redo them? So it'll be 1, 2, and then the remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Stay tuned
They'll all appear at
for
some
that. And there's one coming out in 2020 as well.
point. Ooh.
Yeah.
With the women again?
What?
With the women again?
No, they're starting again.
Oh my word.
They're like, nope, get that out of here.
Am I happy or sad about them restarting again? I don't know.
We'll see. It's meant to have the OGs.
Oh, that's going to be fine then.
Yeah. Of course, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. What a film! It's like it's it's on the list because it's horror themed, right? It's called Ghostbusters, but this is like the greatest comedy of all time.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I watch it when I'm down. I watch it when I'm happy. I absolutely love this film. I'm not a huge fan of the sequel, but I still love it.
I have to say though, there are moments like watching it back now that I think, oh, that's actually quite like scary, like to have watched as a child.
Yeah.
Just like bits and bobs.
The intro. The library.
And like when they're up on the roof of the hotel and they're like in the charred dog things and stuff. Yeah, there's some of those bits where I'm like, oh, that's a bit. It's a bit far for a small child.
Yeah, the whole script is mainly ad-libbed.
It's fantastic.
Most of Bill Murray's lines are all ad-libbed, and they only had like a few lines for each scene, so they had to get those few lines out, and then it was like, okay, just do your own thing. Yeah, you know, budget of 30 million, made 242 million. It's truly not only is it one of the greatest comedies, it's one of the greatest films. It is so clever in its writing. It's like it's just so good. The little side like jokes that it's stuff that's going on in the background that you don't notice
Yeah.
as well. It's just so clever, and every time I watch it, I always find something new. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. Like when they're doing the commercial, and
Yeah.
you can see Spangler when he's going to his mark for the camera. You can see him looking down at the mark,
Yeah.
and then looking up, and then look back down, and then go down. It's stuff like that. Or when they're asking for money, it's like how much will I pay you? And then you see like Spangler like putting his hand, like showing the two on his face
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that. It's stuff like that. It's just it's fantastic.
It is.
Um,
Even I don't know about you, but I find that even though like some of the effects are a bit dated, like it almost
but it's
adds to the charm of the films.
yeah, it's like even though there are effects, it's like practical as well. It's like puppets and stuff, and it's charm.
Yeah, it is. Beer can down.
I love this film. I love it so much.
And the soundtrack is amazing.
Great soundtrack. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about it. It's like one of my favorite films of all time.
I'm curious
But it's
now.
not number one.
Yeah.
It's not number one.
Tell me
Almost
why.
was. Almost was. But there's another film out there that tugged, that played the xylophone on my rib cage. Halloween.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Anyway,
Serious.
number one.
Mm.
Can I get a drum roll, please? And the number one spooktacular film is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh.
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead came out in 2004, directed and written by Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg. One of my favourite films.
That's all I have to say.
Right, thank you for listening to the podcast. Yeah. Edgar Wright's one of my favourite directors out there. I absolutely love the trilogy, and Shaun of the Dead is peak horror film. It's like a spoof of Dawn of the Dead. Shaun Dawn. Which was Dawn of the Dead was directed by George Romero, who is the king of zombie films.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves Shaun of the Dead so much that he put Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg in one of his films.
I didn't know that.
As zombies, but
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I've seen it.
put them in. But that's how good it was. It's like a spoof kind of, but it's not spoof.
It
It's
is so funny.
so
There's
funny.
just so many little moments
Yeah.
that take the piss. That actually you think if actually we did get like attacked by zombies, it's more realistic about how things would probably go down.
It's so good. Like, oh, it's so many great moments. The plan, the scene, it's the direction is just fantastic. I absolutely love Edgar Wright's directing. If you go back and watch this film, honestly, you just keep like a close eye on everything you see, because there's going to be a reference, like something that related to something else previously in the movie and all that. So like the specific words that they say, it just blows my mind.
Also, I love the fact that like for the first few minutes of the film, they don't notice that people are turning into zombies. And it's just so
Exactly.
Like, it's just
so he's
funny.
like walking down the street. It's the exact same tracking shot earlier on in the film when he's going to the shops, but everything's changed in the background. It's genius.
But yeah, because it's just to show the monotony of life You just don't really notice that everyone's the living dead now, basically.
I mean, I've got so much to say about this film, but we don't have enough time.
What is your top moment of the film?
Oh, that's a really good question. I love the plan scene. It's just classic. But I also love... It's like... It's little things. You know how when they're in the pub?
Yeah.
When he's just broken up with Liz.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... some of the words that Nick Frost's character says, Ed...
Yeah.
relates to what happens the next day. So there's like... He'll say like... We'll knock down a Bloody Mary. And then the next scene is when it's the woman in the back garden, and her name is Mary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's things like that. It's like, it's just so clever.
I need to go back and like
look at
all these things and then rewatch
There's
it.
so many. It's amazing. But yeah, I think my favorite scene is the LP bit when they're going through the records and they're throwing them,
choosing which ones they're gonna throw and which ones they want to keep.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so stupid, but it's like it's hilarious. It's just like that's what we got to do. But yeah, that is my top 5 Halloween Spooktacular films. So let me give you the rundown again. Number 5 is Hocus Pocus. Number 4, Get Out. Number 3, is Evil Dead 2. Number 2 is Ghostbusters, and number 1, Shaun of the Dead. We did it! We did it! Halloween is complete.
Thank you for listening.
The ritual can now begin. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope you have an amazing Halloween. Stay safe, stay spooky, stay sexy.
See you next week.
That is my motto from now on. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
That is my motto.
Okay.
Stay spooky, stay safe, stay sexy. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to make any requests, please follow us on Twitter at The Mate Do Review, or send us an email at thematedoopodcast@gmail.com. That's thematedoopodcast@gmail.com, and please follow us on Twitter at The Mate Do Review. My name is Jack.
My name is Emily.
And that will do!
You're listening to the Make Do Review.